going to take Corona lightly right now and enjoy a Corona.
Dad jokes.
Dad joke. I love being loved. Well, you said there were a lot of questions. A lot of people wanted to see this podcast. Thank you, by the way. I feel flattered. My favorite daughter, the best daughter I've ever had.
I love that line. This is one of the most requested, highly requested guests that has been impossible to have sit down and talk to me for an hour, although we're in quarantine, so it's the perfect time. He is a chef, he is a software engineer, and he is my dad, Mark Fable.
Well, thank you for that introduction. I don't know if I'm worthy. And thank you for making the requests, everybody. Actually, I talk to Layne all the time. I just don't talk with the headsets, the microphone in this environment. So
yeah, normally we're doing 20 other things, so cheers.
Cheers. Oh, what a pretty orange.
Chef cut us these garnishes for our cocktails. We weren't messing around for this episode.
I'm not really a chef. I just have the heart of a chef and the passion of a chef.
But I would say you're a chef because you definitely can create a dish out of anything.
Yes,
okay,
that's creative.
Exactly. I have questions from, what am I trying to say? Listeners. But I also...
subscribers.
Yes.
Fans.
Is there anything you would like to say before I dive into that?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just glad to be here. I want everybody to be safe. We're going through some really unbelievably crazy times. And let's use it and make the most of it. Spend time with your family. Eat at home.
So
stay healthy.
Cook your own food.
It's nice if you can do it.
Usually there's a pressing topic, but I don't really want to talk about Corona too much because...
Yeah, I think enough's been said.
I'd like a little lightheartedness in this episode, considering I've been going live and talking about Corona.
I have made one post, though, on this whole topic. I'll just get right to it, and that's it.
What's that?
Okay. So, in the whole world, forget about politics, don't blame anybody. We have one race. We are the human race. There's one virus, this COVID-19. It wants to survive in nature by attaching to human lungs, healthy human lungs, and depriving us of life-sustaining lung function. That's it. Enough said. Nobody did great. Nobody did terrible. Nobody could expect it. It's the human race against the virus. Let's pull together and do this.
Let's do this. Okay. I think that's a nice acknowledgement, but we've talked about it so much. I'd love to move on from it.
Let's move on.
Normally, I would set up like a track of where I would go with episode. Actually, that's such a lie. It's just all over the place. Anyways, let's do a little bit of background. Give me like the quick elevator pitch of you and your life or who you are.
Okay. That's a big question.
However you want to...
Me, my life, and who I am. Well, I think I tried to put together a little sentence. I have it somewhere in a profile, somewhere that you set up for me. Basically, born as a son to a great family, my mom and dad. My dad's not with us anymore, but it's all about the family and knowing how to love, learning how to love. That's the most important thing in the world. Then I guess I became a husband, and that was awesome. Matter of fact, in a month, we're going to be celebrating a 32nd anniversary, which is unbelievable. Then became a father, and I cannot tell you what a big role that is. Being a father is, that's a lifelong commitment. And then after that, I enjoyed coaching youth lacrosse. That worked out pretty well for Shane and some of his buddies. I'm a little sad that we can't see any lacrosse games. This would be the kind of highlight of the season, starting conference play. Not going to happen anywhere in the country. Not going to happen anywhere in the NCAA. Missed that a lot. So, we move on. And I think that's pretty much who I am.
Actually, that's a great starting point. So what was it like?
And a Hell's Kitchen kid. I'm extremely proud of fourth generation.
I was just going to say.
Born and raised in Hell's Kitchen.
Born and raised in New York City. What was it like growing up in Hell's Kitchen in the 70s, 60s, 70s? Well, 70s, really.
It was a very different, 60s. I was born in 61.
Yeah.
Very, very different than now. Not Disney. Not people walking around, hanging out at bars. We had bars, but more staggering than walking and smiling and laughing.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that right now in New York that Hell's Kitchen can start to look a little bit like it looked in the 70s. We had major problems with things like homeless, prostitution, drug addiction. Heroin was really kind of the big rampant issue. I don't. This is way before the opioid crisis, right? And a lot of things happened, but the development in the neighborhood and certain mayors, I think, made it a much better, safer place to live. And right now, let's hope it stays a safe place, because there's a lot of anxiety, panic, and people roaming the streets at night. It's starting to look a little bit more like it looked in the 70s. But let's get off that.
Well, yeah,
that
no,
topic.
I want to like an upbeat. Cause the thing I think I was so excited to have you on the podcast is my dad is one of the most positive people I know, and can always find like a silver lining. And I feel like that's where I got it from. And definitely, I want to hear like, what are some stories you remember growing up in Hell's Kitchen that stand out to you, and like it's quintessential Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, well, you're asking a lot here. You might not know this, but one thing about Times Square, and it was kind of a red light district. We had a whole lot of, adult-only XXX theaters.
In Hell's Kitchen?
Oh, my God.
See, I don't know this.
Yeah, it was not Disney. 42nd Street was the red light district. I'm
Oh,
talking.
wow.
Yeah.
Years
okay.
ago.
So anyway,
Decades ago.
you guys can look it up. Prostitution everywhere, pornography everywhere, all sorts of seedy, deviant behavior everywhere. And we had a lot of, whatever you want to call it, strip clubs, peep shows. There's all sorts of words for the different establishments. And being born there and raised there, the thing that's amazing is that there was total families and communities. Like, my mom was always super involved in the neighborhood, very involved with our church, Holy Cross Parish, beautiful church, oldest structure on 42nd Street. We all went to Holy Cross Grammar School, which is not there anymore, but was for like 90 years. My mother went there, my father went there, my brothers and I, different times, but it was kind of awesome. And I could never go to any of these establishments because people always knew who I was. Like, there were eyes everywhere. I just couldn't even go.
I did not see it going
I'm like a native New Yorker Hell's Kitchen kid, and I just couldn't go to any of these places.
But you're friends
I won't mention any names, but maybe some of my friends have lifetime passes to certain places like Show World and everything else. Anyway, we're not going to go into tokens and everything else. But basically, yeah, no, it was never something I could do because everybody knew me everywhere I went, even in Times Square and Hell's Kitchen. And that's from having your mom being very involved, being a part of a community. Yeah, my mom.
Yeah.
My mom. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's more, but I'm not going to do too much of that.
That's great. Okay, so I'll get into some of the questions because you guys did ask a lot, so thank you. Often I'll put it on my Instagram story, so make sure to go follow me there if you guys want to submit questions, because I'm going to have my mom on next, hopefully. There's so many good ones, but they're going to probably bounce around, but...
You're okay with bouncing around.
Yeah, all over the place.
You've been thinking about this for how many weeks? We're not exactly off to a smooth start.
I'm not kidding. Well, okay, no. The whole point of the podcast is to bounce around, but also it was impossible to get you to sit down and like talk for an hour. It was always like, yeah, I'll do it, and then something came up.
I like the silver lining thing. You got to find silver linings every day. That's your job.
The whole focus on
find
the good,
ways
because there is always
to be good. Find ways to be happy.
You just have to hone in on it.
Stay motivated.
How did
I'll catch up.
You and Kathy Quinn meet?
All right. So here's the story. I've told it many times. I've never deviated from the truth. Sometimes you hear it differently when you ask Kathy, but that's okay. This is the story.
I can't wait to have her on and get her side. Okay.
Yeah. This is the story. So for both of us, it's our first kind of career job after graduating from college, and it was an advertising agency, Lieber Katz Partners. And I had a job. I had worked at IBM for a couple of years, and I decided to take some time off. And then I took a job being a kind of computer consultant for the executive suite there at Lieber Katz Partners. So I had a lot to do with the early PCs, personal computers. Worked at IBM selling the first models that they had. And I took that job, and one of the first assignments I had was to build a time tracking system for actually IBM, which was our client. And your mother, Kathleen Quinn, she was an assistant to the creative director. And in an agency, you have different departments. Creative, obviously, are all the creatives, copywriters, illustrators, artists. And the creative director and that department wasn't exactly known for, you know, tallying and counting and being exactly accurate with boring things like numbers and minutes and hours charged to certain job numbers and things of that nature. But we had to prepare better billing for IBM, and I put together a system on PCs using Excel. Maybe it was actually VisiCalc for people who are as old as I am. And we basically had to make sure that everybody's time was properly accounted for by job, by client, and put that together in preparation probably for some review or audit. And Kathleen Quinn was given the job by the creative department to work with me to make sure that we got whatever we needed and got the job done. And we had to like set up a conference room, work over the weekend. And she gave me a little bit of a hard time, I would say. Definitely gave me a little bit of a hard time. So it was a challenge. And I can kind of remember having to pull out all my charm and character and whatever I can do to make sure that she understood how the situation was and what we had to accomplish and get done. And, you know, we worked hard and got done. And this is like every day, 8-10 hours a day. And it went into the weekend. And I think it was a Saturday. And it was cold. It was still kind of like February, March, about this time of year, but a little colder, probably February. And we got talking about going out for hot chocolate. So I asked Kathleen Quinn if she wanted hot chocolate. And she said, who is this guy asking me out for hot chocolate? But I
How
had
old
a
were you
plan.
guys? 21?
21 pretty much.
You want to go for hot chocolate?
Yeah, we're going out for hot chocolate, but it wasn't just hot chocolate, so I'll explain. There was this awesome hotel that was on Central Park West, and it was the San Moritz, so it was a Swiss hotel. And they had Rumpelmeyer's, this incredible coffee shop, but it was like much more than a coffee shop. But anyway, so we go to the Rumpelmeyer's, and I take her for hot chocolate, and I don't think she knew what she was in for because they bring in little china cups the hot chocolate, which is literally like melted cocoa, and then they do cream fresh. They whip up heavy cream and make a whipped cream and have
Now
that.
I want hot chocolate,
and,
right?
and they serve it in a little silver kettle, and you have your little cup, and we had the hot chocolate. So that was kind of the start, and that was the first time that I guess I had asked her out.
I was
We
gonna
went
say,
for a little hot chocolate
I don't know
date.
if I've heard that specific story. I remember the whole story about mom breaking things to have
Oh, that
you.
yeah, that came like that was.
I love that.
Those were a bunch of things, and she'll probably deny this, but it's true. I would build
Can't wait to
certain
have it on.
systems. Yeah, I would build certain systems that ran on personal computers, and then we'd have to implement those systems, and they needed whatever data entry, and you had to do certain things in a certain way. Otherwise, you'd have an error or validation on your data entry that had to be fixed or corrected. And I swear she would do things like break the system or make things go really, really badly. So I'd have to come down because I was on the 41st floor and they were on the 17th floor. And I'd have to get in the elevator, switch elevator banks, go to that 17th floor and kind of debug or fix. Like, you know, like PC support. But way back in the early days, you only had a few PCs in each company. And yeah, I really think she sabotaged the system, so I would
Just
have
to
to come
see
down
you.
and just come there and fix it. So I kind of got
I
onto
love that story though.
I
That's
re-
how I say that they met
I
at work.
I believe that is absolutely true. So it'll be interesting when you ask Kathy separately how she tells the story, because that's exactly what had happened.
I think it's so interesting too because you guys met at work and now you guys work together. And I know for me growing up, like that was always my norm. I was like, oh, my mom and dad work together. And you guys do everything together, you commute together and everything. So when other people would be like, oh, like my mom does this and my dad does that, I was like, wait, your parents don't work together? I thought like I thought parents work together. And I realize now how much of like an anomaly that really is.
It's funny you say that because it really is an anomaly, but for me, that was my whole life experience.
Yeah.
And not just my life. That was like generational experience. So I'll explain. Growing up in Hell's Kitchen, we lived above the bakery, Poseidon Bakery. And the bakery was started by my papu, my grandfather, Michael Anagnosto. And in 1923, he had this bakery. And then a few years later, he met my yaya, my grandmother, and they ended up getting married. And what happened was I saw my grandfather work with my grandmother every day. So I would leave the house and they'd be working together. I'd come home in the afternoon, they're working together. I'd go out with friends, they're working together. And then my mom and dad, my dad ran the bakery as well, and then they would work together in the bakery. So I saw that. And then when I decided to join Kathy in her advertising agency, so we worked together every day too. So 3 generations, husbands and wives working together. But believe me, it's an anomaly. A lot of people I've spoken
That's so
to,
true.
a lot of friends, a lot of neighbors, a lot of guys say, how the heck can you do that? And it's not for everybody, and it's not easy, but it can be, awesome.
I
And it's
never
what
put two
I've
and two
seen.
together that obviously like Nona and Nona worked together in the bakery their whole lives.
See?
Papu, oh my
Takes a while.
gosh.
It takes a while for you to understand life. That's why sessions like this are so good.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I knew it. Like, I knew them separately, but I never really connected them because for me, I always thought it was such an anomaly. But yeah, there are, in
No.
our family, like, that is, on
Exactly.
your side, that's how it went.
I would say it's very much an anomaly. It's very rare. It's probably not recommended for a lot of couples. Maybe it's not good for longevity, but in my experience, 3 generations.
That's how it
I've
went.
seen Yaya and Papu work together, mom and dad work together, and now your mom and I working together. So
I
that's
love
what
it.
happens. Well, you said there were a lot of questions. A lot of people wanted to see this podcast. Thank you, by the way. I feel flattered.
But you know you're a fan favorite. People always are like, I'd subscribe to your dad's channel. I'm like, what about mine?
You know what? It takes a lot of work to put together a channel, to put together, a vlog, to put together your website, to put together
Podcast.
Anything done well, there's usually so much that goes into it.
And I'm learning it the hard way. But that's why I named it All Over the Place, just so you guys know exactly what
It's
you're
very
getting
fitting,
into.
the
Very
title, All
fitting.
Over the Place. It's fantastic.
Very fitting.
All over the place. This was delicious, but I maybe should have made it a double to last for
I
this
know,
podcast.
I made a big drink. Don't worry,
See that?
I have something up my sleeve.
What are you drinking?
Campari
My
with
favorite.
Sicilian mandarin soda and
Mandarin
cherry.
lemon soda.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that was good.
And cherry hard seltzer. You want to try it?
Wow.
mean,
You're a little all over the place.
Yes, that's me. But it tastes amazing.
Okay, this is so not
Corona
coronavirus
accepted.
but I've already, made my bed. The pod is here in the house.
He drank one
We
of my
get it,
drinks
okay.
in the fridge, so you've truly already.
Oh, wow, that's kind of nice.
Right?
And not too sweet.
What sports did you used to play during childhood or in school?
That was pretty easy. Anything that could be played in city streets. So it was roller hockey, stickball, punch ball, handball, paddle ball.
What the hell is punch ball?
You never heard of punch ball?
Oh, what's punch ball?
You have a pink Spalding. You've heard of
Yeah.
Spalding? So it's that pink Spalding
Like, yeah,
ball.
the bouncy ball.
Yeah. And basically you set up bases best you can, home plate, first, second, third, but instead of using a bat, you drop the ball once and you punch it. And you get to punch it any way you want. That
I've
was
never
punch
heard
ball.
of that.
You've never heard of punch ball?
Punch ball? No, we played kickball.
Well, we don't have as much space or big fields, so we did punch ball, and you could do it inside like a basketball court or in between the 3 handball courts or wherever you found space.
That's incredible.
You played punch ball, and that was a game.
Okay, so if there's
You've
one.
heard of stickball?
Yes.
Football we played, but not football like you would know with full equipment. This was 2-hand touch in between sewers on the street, in between the red lights, because there weren't a
That's
whole lot
crazy.
of playgrounds and there's not a whole lot of grass, especially in Hell's Kitchen. But, we would do whatever we could.
If there was one dish that you had to prepare to impress a king or queen, what would that be?
Impress a king or queen? I don't know about that. I'd probably just say, hey, Mom, let's have some spanakopita.
Bring it from the Poseidon
Bring it from the
Bakery.
bakery, yeah. The spinach cheese and feta pies and the cheese pies.
All right.
What was the purpose of the clap?
So I can sync up video with the video because I use separate,
Nice. I like those little
Yeah.
techniques. I knew there was something to it.
Bean D says, can I just say Mark is amazing and what is his favorite food beside balut?
That's good. That's really good. My favorite food. That's like an impossible question
I
for me.
hate when people ask me that question.
I love like all types of food from all types of countries, and everything matters. Like, where are you? What ingredients do you have? What time of year is it? What is my favorite food? Man, I don't
And a
think
little
of it
bit of
that
background. He grew up, if you don't know this, my dad grew up in Poseidon Bakery. It's been in our family. It's a Greek bakery, but we're not Greek. Actually, no one else should tell
way.
that
Raised
story.
with a Greek heart. Papu
Raised with a Greek heart, but he grew up in a bakery, so food has been
I
your
grew
entire
up
life.
in a kitchen. Literally, when I was an infant, I mean, literally, I was in these big sheets. They were called sidonias, and they were used to like make the phyllo dough, that paper thin dough. And they would just throw a warm sidonia coming out of the dryer in a big pot and just stick me right in that pot. And I'd be there with everybody making whatever, spanakopita, curabieres.
So food means a lot.
Yeah, everything. We just
So
watched.
could you pick a favorite or just not possible?
So what was the question? What's your favorite food? What's my favorite food? Ay, ay, ay.
They also said you were amazing.
Thank you. No, I don't have a favorite food. You got to give me a situation or
Yeah.
a time of year or a place or a
We
mood.
can't pick one.
Like, say, what's your favorite sandwich? Or say, what's your favorite hot dog?
Pizza topping.
Well, yeah, you could do any of those. I can answer. So
Yeah.
I'll shock you. My favorite sandwich, and this is another New York thing. I don't know if anybody remembers Yorkville or Yorktown. So my favorite sandwich is a great couple of slices of either Jewish rye or pumpernickel bread, and then mustard, a nice hot deli mustard, red onion,
Sorry, guys, you can hear
liverwurst, and maybe some Munster cheese on top. That is like my
That sounds
favorite
weird.
sandwich. It's so good. So Munster, liverwurst, red onion, hot deli mustard, and then a nice Jewish rye or possibly pumpernickel. I can go either way on that one. And that's my favorite sandwich.
That is not what I pick.
I know. That's why you asked me. That's why I
All
answered.
right. Nisi wants to know, what is your favorite thing about each of your 3 kids?
My favorite thing about each of my 3 kids. All right, you're putting me on the spot for sure. Favorite thing. Well, let's start with Quinn. He was born first. And it was important to both Kathy and I to raise him to be an independent thinker and be independent. And here we are working very hard. He's about 5 or 6 years old. We dress him all up to take him to his first day of kindergarten and make a big deal about it, take the morning off. And we get to the parking lot, and it's a big deal for Kathy and I. And
Yeah,
he
your
basically,
first kid's going to school.
We pull the car in and we stop. The school's right there, about 100 feet away. And Quinn just leans over between us. Mom, Dad, I love you. Thanks so much for bringing me to school. But whatever you do, don't hug me and don't kiss me in front of everybody. And he gets out of the car and he waves, I got this, and takes on. So my favorite
At 5 years old.
Yeah, 5 years old. So my favorite thing about Quinn is that he's independent and he's going to be just fine wherever he is and whatever he does. I pretty much...
Don't hug me, don't kiss me.
I got a lot of stories, and we hug and kiss all the time.
Yeah,
like every time we see each other. But it was amazing that he himself came out with that. And I
At
have
5,
to say,
most people in kindergarten are like, Mom, don't leave me. Walk me into the room.
it was, I guess, not unexpected now, looking back with all my years of
But it
experience.
was shocking then.
But it was kind of devastating, especially for Mom. It was totally devastating. I just looked at her and was kind of at a loss for words, and I said, "Boy, that was anticlimactic." It was just unbelievable.
Okay, what about me?
My
Middle child.
My favorite thing.
Only girl.
My favorite thing.
Can't pick just one. I know it's
my
hard.
My favorite daughter, the best daughter I've ever had.
I love that line. So silly.
I just think, one of the lessons that I got from my mom and dad was the ability to love, and Layne has a tremendous ability to love. She's really sweet, and she knows how to love. So you can't do much better than that.
Love
so
that.
That's my favorite thing. Favorite thing about Shane? Well, this isn't fair, but Layne on the vlog, I hope you guys have seen this, found this incredible footage from some family vacations.
Yes.
My favorite
The
thing
vintage
about
vlogs.
Shane is, he could be very articulate at times. It's rare, but he can be very articulate at times. And my favorite was we were hiking together. We wanted to make it to the end of the canyon, and Shane was like, I have some reasons we have to go back. Why do you have to go back, Shane? I'm tired. My legs hurt.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. I'm thirsty, and I'm tired. No, that's not my favorite thing.
That's the cutest thing, you guys. I'll link it right on the channel.
You do want to see that. It was awesome. But I'd say my favorite thing about Shane is that he has the ability to put his mind to something, set a goal, and achieve it. Not just want it, but understand the steps of what it takes to get to what you want and actually do it. So that's a pretty awesome quality.
Yeah.
My little D1
He's a
lacrosse
D1
player.
athlete. But you guys know that because he was the first guest on this podcast.
Yeah, when I was coaching he and his friends from 3rd grade to 8th grade, I think it was about 4th or 5th grade, he told me he wanted to play lacrosse in college, and I was like, okay, that's great.
Yeah, okay.
That's great, Shane. That's great. Let's do these drills. Let's practice, and here we are, 10 years later, and he has accomplished that. So that's way up there.
Alyssa asked, what do you enjoy most about being a father?
What do I enjoy most about being a father? Wow. I don't know. I guess part of it is you're so needed in so many ways. Even if your kids don't know how much you're needed, you are. And
I know. I had to beg you to be on this podcast. No.
Yeah, I know. Favorite thing. I think just watching that cycle of life and if it goes right, how you can all impart so many very, very important life lessons, I guess, is the favorite thing. It's a challenge, and it's forever. And again, it's not easy. And I don't think there's any one way to do it. So to all the dads out there, keep doing your best.
This is a funny one. Alyssa also asked, how would people who knew you during high school describe you? I'm
almost sad that I don't have more contact with friends I had during high school, but
you still keep.
But I will say I'm blessed because I have right now 5 guys that I've known basically since kindergarten, definitely since kindergarten and 3rd grade. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to them all yesterday, which is incredibly rare, and I loved it.
The upside of this quarantine.
Yeah, the upside. A little time to think and reflect. So the question is, how would
people who knew you during high school describe you? Come on, I'm thinking of one word. In high school.
One word in high school.
The one word, and everyone knew you for it.
I don't know.
I'm also that.
I don't know.
No,
what? Short? Yeah, well.
Yes. Come on,
okay.
No one knows the story.
All right, so people don't know this. I wasn't just short or small. I was the number 1 shortest male in my grade from kindergarten until probably junior year high school. And you know this if you went to a Catholic grammar school. Like, you line up in size order. Why, I don't know.
Yeah, that's so mean.
Like, every procession, the May procession, First Communion, confirmation, even just going to Mass, every Mass you take, you kind of line up in size order. I don't know what the hell that's about.
Just because you can easily do it.
So I was ready. I was always a front runner. What am I going to say? I was always up there in front of the line.
That's amazing.
Leader of the pack. So, I was the shortest male in school from kindergarten.
And how short?
Well, when I went to high school, and I was a decent basketball player, I was 4'11". So as a freshman, I was in high school at 4'11". I can't tell you how short that is. Oh, yeah, I can. Remember looking at pictures. And, being short's one thing. Feeling short is something different. I never felt small. I never felt short.
You always had a big personality.
I remember getting together with my friends, and we're looking at pictures, and I'm like, guys, why the hell is everybody standing on a milk carton? And they were just laughing at me. Say, what do you mean?
Because you don't remember it that way?
I wasn't even up to anybody's shoulder. And it was like, Mark, you were like the smallest guy in school. I said, damn it, I don't remember that.
Tall person personality.
Yeah.
I definitely have that, but I'm 5'2".
It's awesome.
Stephen Foster, Kevin's cousin, asked, what are some keys to your success that he or anyone can use in their own life?
Yeah, that's not so hard. Basically, every day, start over and do your best at everything you do. Every hour, every minute, just do your best. That's really it. It's really not that hard.
I like that.
Oh, and I can borrow from my favorite line of any song ever, James Taylor, The Secret to Life. Secret to life is enjoying the passage of time.
That's so funny. I was just thinking about that this morning.
Any fool can do it. There ain't nothing to it.
My dad used to always say that, and
That's
it
my
really
favorite.
sunk in because it's like, it's true. If you're always thinking like, oh, I can't wait till next week because I'm going to do this, and I can't wait till next year because I'm going to do this, and especially in this quarantine, I was really thinking about it, that it truly is. Like, if you can enjoy the passing of time when we're all quarantined in our own homes, you really can find happiness. And everyone's complaining that they're bored and everything, but there's so many little things that I think are so great in this bad situation that, like, you can find the silver lining in. That is a good line.
Enjoying the passage of time.
Alyssa wants to know, is there something that you wish you had experienced that you haven't yet? He didn't want to go skydiving with us. We asked.
There were reasons for that too. Being a good father, being responsible. You have life insurance for your kids when they needed it. You can't go skydiving. It would cause you to forfeit your life insurance.
Okay,
There's
yeah,
all
but
sorts
what's
of
something
decisions.
that you would want to experience? Going to the Philippines.
Something that I'd want to experience that I haven't?
Traveling with me.
I like that idea, especially now that you can like put your feet in the sand and you can enjoy.
I think
different
Grandma's
things.
rearranging the kitchen. Sorry, guys.
I haven't answered the question. I try not to regret too much, so maybe there's things I want to do more, but there's nothing that's like, oh, I'm so upset I never did that. I don't have one of those things. But I think let's get this coronavirus over with.
I think that-
travel. I want to
yeah,
get
you
back
wanna
out
go
and
to
travel.
Asia.
I do. There's a lot
He's
of.
never been to Asia.
There's,
Well,
I have been on.
technically.
I have been on the continent of Asia, but only at Turkey or
That's not the
Istanbul,
same culture.
and just crossed the Bosphorus there, and then basically
Yeah.
stepped on the
and
continent of Asia.
I also say this because we love Asian cuisine across the board. Like, from Thai food to Vietnamese food, Filipino food he's tried. So
Oh yeah,
it's different.
I had
obviously.
lumpia the other night.
Indian food we ate the other day. It's like you have to go there and try it there. I mean, the whole thing with traveling for me is like food. Like, that is how you learn their culture.
India.
Yeah, I miss
You're supposed to
India.
make momos. We haven't done that.
That's Nepal.
Yeah.
Nepalese.
That was awesome. So you
Jose
asked for something.
from that I met on our Peru trip asks, "What's for dinner?"
Tonight.
Yes, tonight.
I didn't figure it out yet, but I think we're gonna go with a little Asian flair for sure. We're probably gonna have some kimchi dumplings, and we're gonna have some pork and scallion dumplings.
We have spicy kimchi bao buns.
Oh, I didn't know
We're
that.
really
That'll
not
be
slumming
nice.
it this quarantine.
And-
I've been stocking up on a lot of food.
We also
Not hoarding, but preparing.
We also have, from thanks to Marie and Ed, we have
yeah, zucchini
some
parm.
zucchini parm. So that really is
that
mixing.
makes it-
That's a lot of mixing right
It's a
there.
lot of mixing.
That's a lot of mixing. If Maria's watching, you know where I got that line.
That is a lot of mixing.
But we will figure it out. So great question, but that's for after the podcast. I'll go see what's in the kitchen and we'll make it up. I'm having fun because I'm trying not to plan out too much. We're going day to day here and have things to look forward to. Definitely meals are one of those things to look forward to.
Always.
So we just, we go for it. Like today was awesome. I made home fries, nothing too spectacular, but you cut some
They were
potatoes up, you have
spectacular.
onions, you have peppers, you use seasoning, some olive oil, and then we had these nice little mini cast iron skillets.
And you cook them for a long time, people.
And Shane had a great idea. Just take the home fries, put a couple of eggs on top of it, and put it in the oven and bake it. That was fantastic. I love those little one skillet meals. So that was really great.
So
now
good.
I have to come up with dinner. Great question, but you'll have to check in later to see where we went with that.
Jose is the chef. He's the one that sent the wine, the director's cut, and
So
everything.
Jose, thank you. A matter of fact, because of that, I have a bottle of your director's cut in my wine cellar right now. That's what we're having tonight. I'm gonna make my dinner
definitely have to
around.
send it to him.
Yeah, do that, please. Thank you, Jose. That's
Oh, so
awesome.
then maybe we'll do Italian tonight because we have the parm, and then do dumplings tomorrow.
I also have.
We have all the time
we
in
have
the world.
fresh mozzarella. We have prosciutto. We have.
Yeah, we could do that.
We have a little bit of bread left. After this, we're gonna have to make our own bread because bread was disappearing everywhere. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Okay, so now that we've asked all of the listeners' questions, I have a little segment in the middle of my podcast. I know you've already heard a quick rapid fire questions all over the place. So just answer whatever comes to mind. New York City or LA?
New York City.
Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Winter or summer?
Winter.
Spring or fall?
Fall.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Sorry. Don't send any hate mail, but there's just no comparison. Dog.
Vacation or travel?
Vacation or travel? Great question. I don't know that I've thought of them as different.
I see as vacation as like when we go to Turks and Caicos that one time and we like chill on a beach, ride the catamaran, stay in one spot. You're on a resort. You're eating one food at the fancy restaurant and you're just there on the resort. And travel is when you go out and venture out and see things that aren't catered specifically to tourists.
That's interesting.
And you're getting a little bit more of like
I kind of
culture.
wanted to answer both, but given that explanation, I miss travel greatly. Yeah. I have traveled, but since being a father and busy with children, we don't really travel. We really just take a quick break for vacation.
And it's hard when you have kids,
I think I'm gonna say I want the travel. I'm done with the vacation.
I agree. Introvert or extrovert?
What? That's not even a question. Extrovert.
Morning or night?
That's interesting. I was always a night owl, and then moved from New York City to. There's not a lot of night owls. There's not. Yeah, go ahead. There's not a lot of night owls out here. So you're asking me morning or night owl? I still like night owl.
Yeah. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Book or movie?
Unfortunately, movie. I have not made time for books. That's going to go into the travel
don't knock
category.
movie. We love film on this channel.
Yeah, we love movie.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Almond milk or coconut milk or oat milk?
Oat milk.
Apples or oranges?
Oranges.
Play sports or watch sports? Or I should say, oh, actually, no, that still works for you.
I would rather play.
Okay.
Do that clap thing again. Explain why that's done.
So I need to sync up I have 2 cameras running, so I need to sync up the video with the audio from our microphones.
I love the techniques you've learned.
While I edit. It takes quite a while. Okay.
Hopefully
for our outro. I don't. We got into a few arguments because my dad's like, the numbers aren't that bad. And I'm like, because we haven't been tested yet.
True and true.
Okay, so I need your help opening them because you said you had a story.
Oh, I do. I have a wonderful story.
Oh, and sorry, we cut off the rapid fire because one of the mics got messed up. That being said, you know the man for the most part from my other videos. He is more watched on my channel than I am, I would say. The people love you.
I love being loved. Thank you, everyone.
Love being loved.
Thank you for sending the love.
Oh my gosh, wait. Dad, you had yourself on mute.
But I still heard myself through your mic. Okay, let's start over. I love being loved. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so for the outro, sorry for that. Well, we've brought in the Corona Light.
Yeah, there's a little story about the Corona Light. Corona Light, as a brand, has taken a beating over this virus that has stricken the human race all over the world. You guys went shopping for us in the supermarket, and this was a supermarket that was in New York, so they can sell beer as well as food. And all of the beer that you would want was gone. It was before St. Patrick's Day. I might want a Guinness or something else.
My dad's fave.
There was no Guinness, there was no stouts, and there was plenty of Corona on the shelf. And I just felt badly. So we're going to take Corona lightly right now and enjoy a Corona.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Okay, give me your best dad joke. Do you have one like...
I don't.
That was the best dad joke.
That was it. Yeah. Don't ask me to follow up after I've just aced it. Come on.
If you guys would like to see more of my dad on the spot, just follow me on Instagram and watch my stories, because anytime he does something funny, I just throw it up on my Instagram story or TikTok now.
Well, yeah, I didn't realize that was true until it was about less than a month ago. I was having a bad day in the office, and I work a couple of blocks from Bryant Park, and in the winter, if you have your own ice skates, you can go and skate at Bryant Park for free. And I wanted to get a little exercise in, so I sneak out of the office, and I work with my wife. That was earlier in this show. And yes, she is the owner and founder of the company, so my boss didn't know I was leaving to go ice skating. And I'm literally there for 4 minutes, and I get a text from Layne. She was Snapchatted that is this your dad? I'm skating practically
With a video
alone.
of him skating.
There was like 18 people there. It was 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. On a rainy day, there was nobody skating. It was fantastic. And literally, Layne gets a snap saying, is this your dad skating? I couldn't believe it. So
it was so great.
I was completely busted, and I just can't believe that. So I guess thank you for watching, Layne, and I got to be careful where I go, which ties into my story of Hell's Kitchen. Like, I could never go to a peep show or a place because people are watching. People are watching everywhere. I don't even know it. Okay, so back to the Corona and opening. One of the things I miss a lot this time of the year are the lacrosse games. Shane playing at St. Joseph's University. I love going to lacrosse, and I love the game of lacrosse, but I love the camaraderie and the family, and we get together. And I was having trouble opening a bottle of Guinness, actually. And I met one of the friends of Shane's teammates, and the dad was a Mr. Thule, Jim Thule. And his son, number 9, was the highest scoring attackman to ever play for Army, the Black Knights, West Point. And he also was on the United States. He was on the United States Team USA.
9 was my soccer number.
And his dad presented me with a challenge coin. This great challenge coin is from Mr. Thule, enabling me to open my beers anywhere I go, which is a lot better than other tricks. So
That's pretty great.
Let me do that for you. Thank you, Mr. Thule, and thank you, Garrett Thule, for all you do for the country.
Do you ever faintly think that? Never mind. Cheers.
Cheers.
I was gonna say, when you pop that off, it faintly smelled like marijuana, but I think that's just because in college I smelled that with beer and I equate the two.
Now that's amazing, right? Because that's ridiculous, but there's science behind that.
Is there?
There's total science behind that. You have this brain and you have these synapses and you remember certain things in certain states, and your, what is it, olfactory, the smell, you were smelling the beer and somehow
Someone must have.
Because there's no marijuana here right now.
No, but it literally, like, for some reason you popped it and I got like a faint whiff of it, and I was like, why does beer smell like pot? But it doesn't. I guess you correlate the two when you hang out with crazy people.
If it were
in
colder,
high school.
if we would swapped it out and it was colder, you probably wouldn't have had as much of that smell.
And okay, I think lastly, while we finish the Corona, 2 more things. But one, what do you think of my YouTube career? Because I know it kind of happened out of nowhere. And I started making videos somewhat out of nowhere.
Well, not really, because I kind of remember you as a 4-year-old, and I've seen you with the camera, and we had a couple of early video cameras. What I didn't know was, like, I was a YouTube creator 10 years before there was a YouTube. So
you guys have to go watch.
That was kind of interesting.
Like, everyone says, if you have seen the, like, Jollibee, mukbang, or any of our cooking vlogs, people are like, your dad's more of a natural than you are on YouTube. And I'm starting to realize where I got it from. So if you go back and watch the vintage vlogs, my dad was a vlogger back in 2004. Like, for sure. He was narrating everything. He was setting up shots like, okay, Shane, why do we have to go back? You know, like, he was
funny.
doing everything I do in the vlogs now. So I just think it's incredible how everything really does come full circle in that sense.
All right, so now back to you, since the question was about you. No, I think it's terrific because you have a passion for it. It was interesting. You did study some communications.
And I shockingly took film courses unknowingly.
Film, and it's kind of nice that you had that interest and you learned that in school, because so many people say, I'm never going to use this that I learned in school. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. You can definitely use it. It's how you apply it. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think it's terrific. It's definitely something that's a sign of the times. You couldn't do this long time ago.
That's true.
It's an opportunity that's there, and you enjoy it, and keep doing your best, because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to put together the spots, to capture the film, to capture the audio,
to get guests on your podcast.
I don't know about that part, but to get guests on your podcast.
I've asked you for weeks to sit down.
I'm a busy man. I'm a father. We talked about this already. So
and a computer science and a chef.
It's very,
scientist.
Very. By the way, I'm being requested in the kitchen.
Yes.
Everybody's getting hungry. So
One
we
more
have to
thing.
end this pretty soon.
One more thing. If there was a piece of advice or a quote or something that you would like to leave everyone with.
Wow.
Or anything that you want to talk about that wasn't asked. Is there anything you would like to
No, I'm going to wait for more questions because it's nice to be requested. I thought that was very nice.
And in this quarantine, I don't know who else I can have over the house, so he may be on another episode.
I might have the time.
Yeah.
I'm saving time on the commute. I'm saving time on a number of things. So that is possible. And we do have to kind of change it up and find ways to stay creative, stay challenged, stay happy, be confident. Tough one. There are a few quotes that come to mind. There are definitely a few. I'm thinking... Okay, so this isn't an original. It comes from a priest who was part of the Holy Cross.
Wait, speaking of priest, my dad put on this.
All right, guys.
And my mom was like,
I was told not to do this for the podcast, but in these times.
Just because you brought up a priest, come on, tell
Yeah.
the quote. This is funny now.
So we talked about a lot of things today. I was asked a few questions about being a father. So this quote comes from a man who kind of was president of Notre Dame for, 35 years. And I might not get it exactly right. But basically, it goes like this. The greatest thing a father can do for his children is love their mother. So we'll close with that. You got it.
That.
All right, I think I'm done.
No, I know.
That's like, drop the mic. Done.
Mic drop. Okay, cheers. Let's go make dinner.
Cheers. I'm being summoned. That was great, Layne.
Love you.
That was great.
What? You left me hanging.
We violated the COVID-19.
Oh, well, we also shared our drink, so.
Yeah, but we're also in the same house, so we're in this together.
Yeah,
I think you
at
got
this
some
point.
great stuff there, and I was pretty calm.
Wait, what? Why wouldn't you be calm?
I don't know. Shouldn't people be nervous on camera?
Oh, no. You always love the camera. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any other questions for my dad, you can leave them in the comments below because chances are I'm going to have another podcast episode. I want to have my mom on next, and then possibly the next episode, I can have one with my mom and dad because I feel like it'd be really fun to have 3 people on at once. If you enjoy the podcast, please support. I'll have the link below, but it's also anchor.fm/Layne Fable. And for as little as 99 cents a month, you can help keep new episodes coming. I'm also going live on YouTube almost every day during this quarantine just to keep a little sanity and have a little bit more of an interaction with you guys. So make sure to go subscribe. I did not just cough. Make sure to go subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys want to be a part of that live chat. And love you guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Corona. I like Corona. You know, I really do like the beer. It is. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like that one.
Haha.
I guess I'll just wait for the final edit. I did the best I could.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Just like the name of the vlog.